Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comic Fire, and welcome back for more Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2. In the last episode, we lost Roland and Argilla. Like, permanently. They're not coming back. They're actually dead. Of course, when you get your neck snapped by some sort of giant wiggly wibbly with a ton of mouths and blown the fuck up trying to kill it, you know, it's difficult to come back from that kind of situation. Anyway, let's welcome ourselves back to the EGG installation. This time around, it's going to be a little more, different than the first time we've gone through it. No keycard shenanigans. Huh? Fortunately, the guide I follow for this LP, I have been following to this LP, was a lot more specific, and while it meant I was a little more reliant on it, it also meant a smoother experience. Now it's really friggin' dark in here. I'll show you a way around that. Alright, and now we've done a ton of level grinding. Everyone's level 41. And we got a lot of really good skills. I got Void Charm for a certain fight later and forgot to use it. Gale just got a few more buffs and debuffs. Nothing really incredibly important. Cielo got Ziodyne and Jupiter's Fury. Two skills that basically make Gale, oddly enough, the magic nuke for the LP. I think I said Gale, I meant Cielo. Anyway, in these dark areas, you need to use light balls, which are a very rare drop from enemies around here. Or if they're not very rare, they were very rare for me. Or you can drop $1,000 a pop at Johnny's store. And these are Pisakas. They're kind of scary. Anyway, they're weak to fire. If you don't use a light ball and it remains dark in the area, every fight will be an ambush. For enemies like aerials, like aerial enemies like this that are weak to gun, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't know, guns are fun, but you don't want to be stuck using them. That's kind of scary. Anyway, this is even less threatening than before. Yay. And we got a rose from them, which is worth a lot of gold dollars. Gold dollars. Now, there is a lot of treasure in this dungeon, but I don't recommend going for it just yet. If you're following a guide, don't worry about the treasure at all. If you're not, you're probably going to get lost enough to the point where you'll end up getting it all, but otherwise, really, just try your best to get straight through this dungeon, because, I'll explain. Well, it'll be easier to explain once the situation pops up.
What's with this place?
God's data must be leaking. The data comprising this entire area has already been corrupted. The EGG might be damaged.
That would make this God's will. What is God exactly?
I can't really say. He is a being of vast greatness. Talking with God is different than talking to people. As he enfolds me, I can feel his will.
That is conversing with God?
I don't know if he even has a distinct mind like us.
Seriously? How you gonna change his mind if he don't have one?
I felt warmth in him. I think that the way people have lived and God destroying our world are related somehow. We ignored something very important, so...
He just gave up?
You see that as an opening for negotiation.
Hey, what happened to I do not comprehend, eh, brother? I kinda miss it.
Some things must be felt, not comprehended. Our comrades' deaths must not be in vain.
I wonder if they had insurance or something like this. Anyway. These little vortexes are going to warp you all over the goddamn place. Anyway, beyond that basement area, I don't think you'd need light bulbs for the rest of the game. There might be one place later on, but I can't remember because it's a gigantic dungeon. Not really much we can do there. Anyway, after you complete this dungeon... Maybe I shouldn't say that. Is it plot spoilers? Nah. After you complete the dungeon, the vortexes will be gone. And it will still be in this messed up sort of state, so all the treasures will be as they were. And there's a lot of really good stuff in here, so... If you're just trying to go straight through and you know exactly where to go, don't worry about the treasure for now. Just come back for it later. These guys are Legion. They resist physical kind of hard, but I think they're weak to electricity. A lot of things are weak to electricity in this game. I think even these things are weak to electricity. I'd be wrong, though. Though every time I fought one, it's gotten paralyzed, so... Yeah, it might not be weak to electricity, but it certainly has been weak to something in my experience. I wonder. That scream sounds familiar. Keep that in mind for later, viewers. Anyway, to get through these electrical areas, you need to use core shields. I know for a fact that returns in a later dungeon. And if you don't, it sucks up a hefty chunk of your HP. I think it's like a third or a quarter or something. And since you have to go through it twice, you're losing like 50 to 66% of your HP. Just use a core shield. I mean, unless you want to use Mediarama, but...
We have the advantage. Proceed.
And they last for a while, so if you intend to run through a lot of them at once, then you're good. These things are weak to Zio, and they also reflect Force, which I forgot. Raving Slash can inflict panic on you. It sucks. Fortunately, combo skills seem to override panic, so... Not the worst thing in the world. This is a Chimera. I don't know what I was doing there. I just guessed that it was weak to Earth, because I think it was similar to that in DDS1. Now, off-screen, I did a lot of messing around with karma rings, like using all those gems we found, and just plugging them full of the best ones we could to amplify a certain stat that I wanted for that character. Gale's getting all the attack in the world because he's my physical attacker, as well as my buffer. Sarah's getting all the magic because she's the magic nuke. That's how I built her character. And I put a lot of stuff into luck for Cielo because I thought it would help his ailments. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but luck stats like weird in video games. It's hard to tell like what it always does. I think in Final Fantasy 1 it was akin to your chance to... It was either like run away or your like accuracy or something. And then I know in Final Fantasy X it like amps your accuracy and your critical hit rate. Now these things, when there's still two of them alive, can cast Magic Repel, which means you can only hit them with physical attacks, unless you have an almighty attack, in which case you're so overpowered that your physical attacks ought to be doing just fine. But they counter with high counter, so it's kind of an annoying fight, but I'm not even going to say it's one of a kind. It's just annoying, you gotta put up with it. Fortunately, though, they go down pretty quickly. Though I think if you have a dedicated physical attacker, most likely Gale, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make sure you have something stronger than Bioblade at this point. It really sucks when your core shield runs out halfway through one of those, but it's a minor inconvenience, unless you didn't have any more. Though if you buy 10 of each... Really, I think you could get away with, like, just one light ball, to be perfectly candid. Maybe 2 if you really wanted to be safe. I hate when I forget to cut out saving. But you don't need a ton of them. And they're dirt cheap, too. Sure, what could possibly happen? I'm not really seeing the human aspect there. At least Pisaka's had a vaguely human form. This is a lion, a goat, and a snake. A chimera, if you will. So it'd be less accurate to say demonized human and more accurate to just say demon. Still trying to keep the humanized aspect to say that, yo, we really need to get God on the straight and narrow. Though they did bring up an interesting point, God having a distinct mind. Maybe he does have a distinct mind, and it's just that our minds aren't... We can't comprehend the thought process of a godly being. Because they've got to be on a higher level than us. Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward brought up a similar thing, too, saying... It's like when termites build, like, their big, cool structures. Like, do they realize that they're building something like that? We do because we think on a higher plane than termites do, but what if we're building something super cool and we don't even realize it, and a godly being watching us is like, haha, you do you, little buddies. They used much different terminology for that, but it's roughly the same idea. Zero Escape's a really fascinating series, too. I'd highly recommend everyone watching to play it. Though, no matter what, play the games in order. Play 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, or whatever the order is, 999. Play that first. Play the DS version, not the iOS version. The iOS version's cool, but it doesn't have puzzles, which cut out a really fun... Really, it takes half the fun out of 999. Play 999 first, then play Zero Escape. Or shit, Virtue's Last Reward. And do it now so you can experience a bit of the agonizing wait for Zero Escape 3 to come out. I don't usually pre-order games like a year in advance, but I got the little Amazon receipt for my Zero Escape 3 pre-order. The limited edition version, no less. Which cost the exact same. Sure, that didn't mean I got, like, scammed or something, but, you know. If it is, so be it. Same price, it's whatever. Just get a refund. Because of the way this dungeon is structured, excuse me, structured, it's a lot quicker to go through than the first EGG facility. How much quicker? We're already just about done. I think this is the second to last save point. And we're definitely on the last floor. Well, the last floor that we have to explore through. And I like this. Keep, teleporter gimmicks kinda suck, but if the dungeon itself, if the dungeon with it is short, that's cool. I don't mind that. It's like the, it's also why I'm not really interested in playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Because from what I hear about it, it's like, yeah, it's super difficult, the dungeons are long, and really not, or really annoying to get through. I'm like, cool, that doesn't sound fun at all. There's difficulty, and then there's tedium. And the first time I played this game fell solely on the side of tedium. The only reason I'm enjoying it now is because I know what's coming. Playing it for the plot the first time around was one of the most infuriating things I've done in my gaming career. Things just kept going and going and going. And now that I know what I'm doing, it's like, cool. And the plot's fun to watch a second time. I sure wish I did this a little earlier. Has to be closer to DDS1. But yeah, that's about the end of the dungeon. Of course, we do have a boss to get through.
It's about time.
Heat.
I told you I was strong, Sarah. Now, I just have to devour you.
I'm sorry, Heat. I know that I've made you suffer. Devour me if that's what you really want. But please, allow me to talk to God first.
Talk to me.
You don't understand.
Stand back, Sarah.
Be careful. We wanna talk with you, bro. Just the way you like it.
Let's go.
This boss was the reason I didn't want to LP this game. One of the toughest bosses I've ever experienced in my time as a gamer. Because I didn't have electricity spells. This guy can do a little bit of everything. First off, just because he's heat doesn't mean you can use ice spells. He now drains them. Next, the tentacles defend them. They've got roughly 500 HP. Or maybe exactly 500 HP, I might be using the term roughly wrong. Next, he has an ultra-powerful ice attack that he uses if the tentacles are still up. Which isn't really an issue right now, because the tentacles are going to be gone in... now. Now we can hit him. Now we can hit him. I really like the sound this roar makes. It sounds like all distorted and pained. Unlike the first fight with heat, he doesn't specifically target Sarah with that, but I just got unlucky with it. He has 3,000 HP. We just took out a sixth of it in one shot. If you have Ziodyne, this fight's extremely easy. This fight took an hour for me the first time, and made me so mad my heart started beating weirdly. Oddly enough, that's a physical attack, not a fire one. Fortunately, Sonic Wave didn't really hit me too much either, so the fight wasn't as annoying as a result. Now, we've cleared out a decent chunk of his HP. And I think it's every time he talks, he's going to use the same Inferno Roar Sonic Wave combination. If you take too long to kill him, his tentacles will come back. It's not fun. And he's already in the red. This was one of the most cathartic experiences against a boss I've ever had. Something that drove me this insane the first time playing. And I wasn't scared once during this time go around. Of course, he didn't really use much of his scary skills because we were dealing so much damage that he didn't get a chance to use them. I think it's a pretty cool boss fight, all things considered. They clearly didn't design this fight with Ziodyne in mind. No, sir, they didn't.